What do YouTube? This your boy Share Speech. What I want to talk to you guys about Into the Badlands, Season 3, Episode 3, Leopard Snares Rabbit. And bro, I gotta tell you right now, this episode was lit. In terms of this, so, as you all know, Lydia made her deal with the widow. You know, check this out, I give you the poppy fields, and I give you a sanctuary for the refugees. You know, so then that way you can still do your thing as vice board. Now, instead of being a baroness, in fact, even so, her old, I believe her old handler, Maria, actually even recognized her. So, you know, this is still the same way you had it. We even have new designs, so then that way, you know, the logo can change, needs to be different. We still have we're still renovating the house a little bit. You know, Maria, Lydia was like, you know what, I'm fine. I've been worse. But, you know, this episode had a lot more than just that. You know, we finally get a little bit of a confirmation as to what and exactly the widow wants to do. What Sonny and Bajie are doing so far. We even saw them actually. They're still getting towards the lines, you know, to get Henry the help that he needs because the baby is still sick. The morphine truck actually came through, but Nathaniel's dumbass actually ended up killing the people that had the supply truck. Now, mind you, the way that Bajie and Sonny got through to the lines was through the same exact supply truck. The only difference was there was no supplies in it. You know, there was no morphine. There was no health medical kits in there for the people that were injured and things of that nature that were on the front lines. And so, really, you know, that was at a loss. But anyway, Sonny was able to actually befriend a couple of kids, literally just like teenagers of the front lines for the widow, to actually get through the lines. Actually, in fact, one of the kids named Arthur names the lines Sniper Valley, where they had to go through. They called it Sniper Alley because they were still one of Chow's last people, you know. And apparently he's the only one left now. But unfortunately, as we all know, Arthur actually ends up killing him after Sonny puts a stop to him. After he puts an arrow through him, a poisonous arrow through him. He said, look, I had to do a duty, and you do understand that, right? And Sonny's like, yeah, I do understand. But then Arthur actually ends up slitting his throat because, you know, Arthur lost a lot of his friends to that guy. So that makes a lot of sense to me. You know, he wanted revenge for that, although Sonny gave him an order as the fake regent not to kill him. But, you know, Arthur did his thing anyway. And actually, it was actually while they were actually attempting to go through the lines that one of the soldiers of the widow actually was injured. Her name was Ren. She was injured. She was actually shot 3 times in the leg with the poisonous arrows. And the only way to actually save her life, Bajie actually had to get her to the healer, and the healer had to cut her leg off. And Ren wasn't too happy about that. In fact, he said, I can't fight. I can't work in the poppy fields. How am I supposed to live, you know, a decent life now? I'm gonna be living my life very half decent now, you know, because she only has one leg now, obviously. So she's pondering, you know, like, how am I going to live a life now with only one leg? You know, of course, Bajie feels actually pretty bad that she even went off on him like that because he figured, you know, he was helping her. You know, he was helping a teenager stay alive. You know, and he thought maybe her being alive was better than her being dead. You know, especially since he would have that on his heart, being that he actually let her get arrowed and killed. You know, because he was actually supposed to be guarding her while they actually find a way to actually draw out the sniper and kill him. You know, so Bajie was just doing his good deed. He's a good deed in what he thought was right. And that's completely understandable. But then also, we learned just what exactly, we actually learned that Nathaniel Moon actually has a soft spot. And who do you think that is for? It's certainly not the widow. It's just complete business between those two. But it actually happens to be with Lydia. He has feelings for Lydia. In fact, he told her, look, when I went back to the refugee camp of where you were, I only came there for the information on who the Iron Rabbit was, but I also came there because I had to feel my feelings for you. In fact, Lydia even stopped him and said, you know, mercy. There are 2 things in this world that will get you killed in the Badlands. That's mercy, and then there's love. You know, and they couldn't do anything about that. So anyway, You know, Lydia pretty much blocked Nathaniel's attempt right there, which is good for business, you know, because you know Nathaniel actually found out that in order for Tilda to actually escape, Lydia actually tipped her off and said, "Get out now," you know, and Nathaniel was like, you know, I learned a lot of things over the years. You never think that you'll remember so many things, you know, as you grow older, you know, and throughout the years. And he said, and you would really think that I wouldn't recognize your handwriting. And here you are not even, you know, trying to defend it or deflect it. You know, Lydia has gone through a lot, man, as both a Baroness, mother, and wife. And I doubt she's afraid. And she knew that Nathaniel would not kill her. Which led to his little confession, hey, I have feelings for you. You weren't the only person I was looking for at that refugee camp. You know, I was looking for the Iron Rabbit and I was looking for you. Isn't that sweet? So anyway, you know, it wasn't until Tilda's lover was actually captured. And then that was when Tilda and her mother made a deal. She's like, you know, I wasn't really surprised at this at all. But because look, this reunion is long overdue. With that being said, you know, they made a deal. She said, oh, I'm open to it, but you have to free MK. So as MK was actually being force-fed, time for dinner time, because remind you, MK was actually restrained to his bed the entire time, that whole episode. And so that was only when he went deep within himself as he was being force-fed that he remembered his mother being killed. All his adventures with Sonny, his training with Abbott's, everything. So it was that actually woke into his gift. And he actually sprung into action. He threw both those guys out the damn window and killed them. He said, he looks at the window, he says, remember when I told you when I would get my gift? Well, guess what? So it's a full onslaught. He actually came through and he kicked the shit out of the window right over her damn desk. And if it wasn't for Tilda, she would have been dead. So Matilda was the one who said, look, MK, not like this. And so we'll see what happens next week. As you saw from the trailer, you know, Sonny and Bajie engaged into a fight, you know, and I guess Sonny in a way feels like, you know, it's time for me to die. I mean, I'm ready to accept my penance, you know, for all the things that I've done, because they said he was kind of like shackled from his neck, him and Bajie. And then we also see a bounty out for Sonny still, because Nathaniel was still looking for him. In fact, that's why Lydia actually told him, like, listen, you know, if you find something, would you let him know that mercy and love actually will get him killed, or something of that variation? And so really, next week we finally see MK. We see him get knocked out by one of the guys that actually was force feeding him. I guess he wants to bring him back to the Widow Douglas or have him for himself and kill him, I guess. And so we'll see what happens next week. This is your boy Shape Speaks. I apologize for the late time. I actually was in the midst of actually playing my brand new video games. God of War, the new one, and UFC 3. So that's actually part of my game content I was doing. So I apologize for the late upload. I really do. Be on the lookout for more Supergirl content in a couple hours or so. This is your boy Speaks. Make sure you guys like the video. Subscribe to the channel. If you're new to it, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel as well for more content like this. Or if you have any suggestions on what you guys want me to review or whatever, let me know in the comment section below as well. This is your boy Speaks. One love.